Well, there it is. The season is finally underway. The Dodgers are out to a hot start already. Things are going really well in some parts, but there are a couple concerns. Should we be concerned about Shohei Ohtani's slow start? No, and we're going to tell you why. We dive into it all here. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter at 10:17 in the evening of June the 29th, 1990. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast. It's gonna be sick.
All right, and just like that, the Dodgers have a winning record already. And we're not going to look back. We've got it.
That's it. That's
There's nothing to look back
at. We got to the 100. We got to the 104.
Yeah. So this should, we're already what, at a 120, 130 win pace? Not really. If you do the math, we're wrong on that. But I am Ryan Bershinger, and I've got Monse and Beau alongside me. So guys, first couple games, this Cardinal series already in the books. The Dodgers took 3 out of 4 in LA.
Thank God.
A couple of comeback games. One they came back, didn't win. Another one they come back and win. So I think there's a lot of interesting stuff to take away from this. But how is Monse? How has the opening of the season been for you?
It's nothing too crazy for me. I'm kind of like I told you guys. I hate everybody who's like splitting hairs and dissecting this first series for the Dodgers because it's just the beginning. I know Shohei is the big story, and with me, I'm kind of perfectly fine, maybe even a little bit happy that he is not off to this hot start. So much is going on around him that it's understandable why maybe he's off to a slow start. Also, like, you just joined the biggest spotlight in baseball. Like, you should be a little nervous. This is normal, and he's not even playing bad. Yeah, he left the bases loaded. Sure, okay, everyone was hoping, that something big was going to happen in that moment. It's fine. It's the first series. I'm not worried about it. It's Shohei. He's going to be fine. But I'm actually really okay with the normal start that he's off to.
Yeah. I would be concerned if he wasn't, like, consistently hitting the ball harder than anybody's hit it for the Dodgers in the last, like, decade or whatever it's been. So, yeah, I'm not – results will come. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
If we're the first people to point out this statistic to you, credit it to us. No one else
always
other than us.
Even if we're not the first, please credit us. We have a crack research staff here, so we can dive into the numbers and really bring you things that nobody else has heard of before. So in opening day at Dodger Stadium, Shohei Ohtani's single was 113 miles an hour off the bat. Not a single Dodger in the entirety of 2023 hit a ball at 113 miles an hour. He then did it again 2 days later on a single in the third game in the series. So, that's why, like, Monse, you hit the nail on the head. I don't think you can't be concerned for Ohtani because he does look like he is pressing a bit at the plate, and you've had a couple strikeouts because of that. But as he said, it's just getting his timing down. It's the start of the season. He's in a new exciting place. I don't think the off the field stuff is what's really dragging him down. If it was, I think he would be destroying balls when he does make contact. And so if this is Ohtani's slump, if this is how he performs when he's slumping, hitting the ball harder than literally anybody, you'll take that. He's going to turn it around. That timing's going to come back, and he's going to be totally fine.
He doesn't look lost at the plate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to be concerned about. Not just is he still making contact, but he doesn't look lost at the plate. It's just something minor that he's going to tweak, and it's just like, I'm not even worried. Not at all.
Yeah, no, nothing. No concerns. Just about maybe his DraftKings parlays, but who knows?
Rude.
Now, yes, as you guys may see, I'm not in the same place that I was last time. I have been arrested I am detained, and my lawyers asked, or rather the FBI asked me like, hey, you can contact your lawyers, and I said no, get me on my podcast first. So they've hung I'm in the interrogation room, coming to you live from
Finally
somewhere
got that son of a bitch
in the depths of New Mexico. Hey, I'll get out. All right, when we're down bad like this, we make it out. So somebody who's not down bad, incredible transition there. Mookie Betts has been fantastic to start the season. Mookie is off to a huge, an incredible tear to start things off. He had home runs in 4 straight regular season games dating back to the South Korea games. I think that this is who Mookie Betts will be this season. No, I don't think he's going to hit 600 to finish out the season. It'd be great. Go for it. Put that up.
You're fake. You're a fake fan. You're a fake fan.
How do you not believe he's going to go for 600? Come on.
Yeah.
I listen. Some people call me a realist. So I think 400 is attainable.
400 is way more doable. Yeah. Yeah.
Mookie's been incredible thus far to start the season, and I really think that the way that last season ended absolutely is going to have an impact on him throughout the year. I know people will look at Mookie and think like he doesn't look like he's pissed off. He will make comments sometimes where he's like, other people's are good too. But his comments since the end of last season have turned more into like, we're on a mission. Every team has it out for us, and we're not happy with the way the last season ended. And that's what you want to hear from your star. Absolutely. And his performance at the plate and in the field, where he's playing a position that he doesn't play, he is now the everyday shortstop, which is incredible. Everything has reflected the fact that he's on a mission, and I think you're going to see this amount of production from him throughout the season.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Can you please do it the entire year? Can we just one time have that guy on the team? That'd be so nice.
What are you talking about? He was an MVP, runner-up, along with Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, runner-up. He never really had a real chance.
He is... He's the best player in baseball. I know it's been 1 week. I don't care. He's the best player in baseball. And he's literally leading the Dodgers in every offensive category possible, which is something that I'm not surprised about. But if I'm going to be like a realist here when it comes to just baseball, this is all great and dandy. And I hope, come game 127, this is still what we're saying, that Mookie Betts hasn't lost his fire. I'm just hoping come playoffs, we're still having the same conversation, because it's great. But in the long grand scheme of things, this needs to happen during the postseason. And so I'm loving it. And I hope you're right, Ryan, that he has some sort of chip on his shoulder because of what happened last year, because of what happened the year before, just coming up short in situations where you were not supposed to come up that short. Because we didn't just come up short. We came up that short. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I hope you are right. And I hope that if a slump comes midway through the season, that he just picks it back up, because we know he has the skill. That's not the question. It's just, we need you to do it when we're grinding at the end.
Yeah. I have a formula to debut on the show today to determine who the best player in baseball is. So I ran the model in Excel, and in the American League, it's Juan Soto. And in the National League, it's I think Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr.?
Yeah, the formula is just whoever won Player of the Week that week. So it'll probably change over the year, but yeah, he won Player of the Week over Mookie, which is, I don't know. Okay, sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Does the 2 games in Korea not count or something? Did Major League Baseball forget about them?
Did he hit 7 home runs and I missed it? I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't get it, but that's
okay.
Yeah.
But see, and that's the other sad part about it, is that Mookie is almost like, everyone's like, but he is good. Some people are not impressed by the naturalness that is Mookie Betts. Mm-hmm. That's what's really sad about it.
Yeah. Well, it's like last year. Last year's going to stick in my craw forever, to be honest with you. I will always say that Acuna wasn't any better than anybody else last year. Like the fact that people kept using the stolen bases as a thing, so dumb. And they're still comically stupid large this year too. It's so stupid.
I mean, listen, I love the love for the Dodgers and the hate for the Braves. I do. But I think the fact that the Braves were so good as well helped his storyline. Like if he was playing for the Marlins and stealing that many bases, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. Whatever.
You know?
Whatever. Just gonna irrationally upset me for the rest of my life. No big deal.
Esteori Ruiz stole a lot of bases for the A's last season. So
well, that's why he was second in MVP voting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's transition to pitching, because I think that there's been first of all, the starting pitching has been phenomenal to start the season. If you look at the Cardinals series on its own, the only pitcher who didn't pitch into the sixth was Yamamoto, and that was because of the rain delay. He would have easily. He was at like 70 something pitches. Yeah. This staff is so deep. And the top is phenomenal. Glass now looked great on opening day. Bobby Miller looked fantastic. And I think that's something that we've all forgotten, is that Bobby Miller should take a gigantic leap forward this season. If you think about like the steps that Walker Buehler took to get to where he is now, like this is the season where Buehler made his step into ace form. I fully expect for Bobby Miller to do that same sort of jump. Yamamoto looked great in his outing.
I don't think we should skip over that. Like Yamamoto looks so good. He looks so much better. And I still don't think he even looked that bad in Korea. Like the Dodgers defense behind him is just bad. But like he's everything is advertised, and that starts the reason why he got the money he got. So
yeah.
I think
I'm sending out the Yamamoto apology form for everybody to sign.
we can blame the Yamamoto start. We can blame the South Korea start on the K-pop band that delayed Yamamoto's warm-up.
Okay, no, wait.
Like 45 minutes
don't
or whatever.
do that. Don't do that. We need this show to survive. Okay. K-pop is perfect.
Yes. Yeah. K-pop is great. It's the greatest musical form ever made. Okay? Please do not come after us. I said nothing negative about K-pop. Okay?
I said absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, Monse and I are innocent.
About anything.
Anything happens, it's all Ryan.
When my Spotify account was hacked a few years ago, somebody hacked it and played a whole bunch of Twice on my account. So then like my year-end account on Spotify had Twice all over. And you know what?
And that's how you became a fan?
I'll just pretend like it was not a hack job, and that was me entirely, because K-pop is so damn good, and I love every single person who loves K-pop. Never say I said anything otherwise. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. But yes, Yamamoto looked great in his first home start. And with like the horrible weather too. Like you figure that the rain is causing a poor grip on the ball for a lot of these guys. So like he looked pretty unfazed with that. So that was awesome to see. And I think overall, just seeing how, like, even I thought Gavin Stone had flashes in his start Sunday night. Like his breaking stuff is legit. And I think we forget, because like Stone didn't look that great when he came up last season, but he was kind of pushed into that spot because of all the injuries. He was
just all weird
year away as it was.
Yeah.
So I really like Stone this season, because I think he could actually turn into a very solid back end of the rotation piece by the end of this year for the Dodgers. But overall, I think the biggest note is the fact that right off the bat, you have starters going deep into games, which is huge. It's not something that much of the league sees anymore. And we're doing it first series of the season when guys are on shorter leashes than they would be in the middle of the summer. So the fact that you're getting 6 innings from your starter, strong 6 innings, and you had like Ryan Yarbrough had a 3-inning save on opening day. Wonderful. Kyle Hurt, who I'm just going to bang the drum for all season. What the meme goes, if Kyle Hurt has one fan, I'm the fan. If Kyle Hurt has no fans, I'm dead. That's me with Kyle Hurt. I think that he genuinely, by the end of the season, should be a high level.
Show, I agree. Yeah.
I love his stuff.
Yeah.
Nabil Krismat was good, and then he was given a swift Vikings funeral. So hey, thank you, Nabil. Good, strong 2 innings. You get to your Dodger career is now you are undefeated with an ERA of 0, and you are gone, which thus makes you the greatest pitcher in Dodger history statistically. So well done, Nabil Krismat. Good work, everyone. But yes, so I kind of rapid fire a lot of takes about the Dodgers pitching staff. Monse, what was something that you noticed from this pitching staff over the first series that you liked?
I mean, last year I was a big Bobby Miller fan, and he had just such great moments and then such bad moments. So it was nice to see a little bit more control of him coming out in his first outing of the season. I agree with you. I think he is going to be one of our crucial pitchers. I mean, I mentioned this to you guys, and I wrote it down: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not even gonna count Joe Kelly. Okay, we're not even gonna mention him. But we did have 8 pitchers that pitched an inning or less. Now, I don't want this to be the thing for the entire season. The Dodgers, though, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're figuring things out, because what we're doing now, that's not what we're going to be doing by the end of the season. Walker Buehler will be back. You mentioned Brusdar Graterol is going to be back. So we are figuring people out. We're figuring out who can do what. But since history with the Dodgers has always been so heavily analytical, like that was just the one thing I'm like, I don't want this to be how we are come the second half of the season. And I hope this is just us figuring things out now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just having Trinan and Graterol sidelined for, however long they're going to be sidelined for. So, yeah, that Joe Kelly outing sucked. That was unfortunate to watch. And I kind of blame that more on Dave than Joe. And it was very clear that he didn't have it, but Dave just left him out there because he didn't want to go to Vesia for whatever reason. But I don't like giving away games, even if it's third game of the season. But yeah, like this was always my thing going into the year is like, every time we'd talk to our good friend JP Morosi, or you'd listen to MLB Network or whatever, it'd always be like, yeah, the Dodgers have a great lineup, but their pitching is such a big question mark. And outside of that game 1 blow up last year, their pitching in that playoff series was fine. They didn't give up too many runs where they couldn't have outscored them. Like, I'm sorry, like that's just not the case. And so like, that's always been their strength. So it was always kind of baffling to me that people would go into the season thinking the Dodgers rotation wouldn't be good, because they were good last year with a bunch of guys. And like that, like never bothered me at all. So I'm not surprised to see Yamamoto bounce back, and I'm not surprised to see Glasnow be good. And Bobby Miller should take that leap. It looks like he has, or is on the path of doing so. So we'll see what James Paxton does tonight, but I feel like he can be a serviceable 5th guy too. And Gavin Stone was fine. So once they get Trinan back, once they get Graterol back, I still think they probably should go find a left-handed reliever, but that's a problem for July, not now.
Yeah, that's how I felt after that Joe Kelly blow up. Was first of all, it was odd that like half of that lineup is left-handed, and Alex Vesia was ready, and Kelly was still throwing to lefties.
It's just weird.
It was weird. But also, unfortunately, I don't have faith that Alex Vesia is going to get back to what he did a couple years ago.
No.
He feels like a reliever where he's kind of that sort of flash in the pan, where you find the one thing that he does well, and then suddenly he has an elite feel for it, and he is able to just burn out after a season, which is fine. Like, there's plenty of relievers that are like that. Vesia's fastball was unhittable for a year, and it's not really ever gotten back to that level.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to believe that it's going to. So I do think that acquiring a high leverage lefty at some point is going to be pretty important for them, because the only other lefty you've got is Yarbrough, and I really like his role as kind of an innings eater out of the pen, which I think is a very sort of underrated value to have in a bullpen. But we did also notice in this first series that, yeah, Blake Trinan and Brusdar Graterol are excellent against lefties. And so not having them available against lefties, I think sort of highlighted the need that they have for a lefty reliever. I know they brought in Drew Pomeranz on a minor league deal just to see what happens, and that could be a fun reclamation project. But I think by the trade deadline, yeah, a lefty reliever is going to be something that this team definitely needs.
Yeah, that Willie Adames Devin Williams trade is going to hit like pure crack cocaine.
That brings up a good point that I did want to make, because we had the Dodgers extended Will Smith for 85 years, and so now he will be the catcher until the end of time. So they gave Will Smith a 10-year extension, and that's despite the fact that they've got, I think, really the best young catching pipeline in the league. You have Dalton Rushing is charts everywhere as a starting catcher in the future. We've known about Diego Cartaya for quite some time. He did take a step back in his development last season, but there are still charts that have him as a top 100 prospect, and there are plenty of organizations who would still love to have him, I'm sure. I'm gonna butcher the name, but Tyron Liranzano. He's a great young catching prospect, and eventually we'll hear his name so that I know how to pronounce it. But he charts incredibly high, and the Dodgers are better than anyone at identifying and acquiring young talent. So by locking up Will Smith, you now have this excess of young catching talent where at least one of those guys has to be moved before the deadline.
Yeah.
And a deal for somebody like a Willie Adames. And yes, if you include Devin Williams in that, please do. I think that would make a ton of sense. Because we're at the point, looking at this team, you're like, all right, Mookie at shortstop is working right now, but you want his arm in right field. You want his defensive ability in right field. It's clear that like he's definitely fired up by playing shortstop, and his effort is tremendous. But when you're looking at like Jason Hayward, I like him a lot. I know the team likes him a lot. It's hard for me to believe that he's really the answer to right field for the entire
I mean, he's about to miss some time too, so Andy Pajes, get ready to play right field, buddy.
Yeah. Jason Hayward has back tightness because he is 58 years old, so like it's natural.
I don't know if Mookie would move back to the outfield though. I think you'd just stick him at second. Ultimately, that's what I want is like they need to get an actual shortstop in there so that Mookie can play second, because asking him to play shortstop every single day sucks.
Yeah,
like that's just not like good for him for doing it for the team, but I don't think that's smart in the long run. So I think you want to put him back at second.
I think that's the ideal situation, but I also don't want to move him for a average shortstop.
No, the only shortstops that are going to be available are Ha-Seong Kim, and the Padres aren't going to trade him to the Dodgers, and then Willie Adames. So,
right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And they could get neither, and we're just playing Miguel Rojas at shortstop, and yeah, that'll be fun.
Miguel Rojas, who, by the way, has more home runs than Shohei Ohtani. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So listen.
That's why they're paying. That's why they're paying him $700 million.
Miguel Rojas is making $700 million for the remainder of time. I actually like Rojas at short, and I think as a short-term solution, I know we want Lux getting reps still, but he just really hasn't looked great overall.
Yeah, can I drop the first hot take of this show?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a future for Gavin Lux with the Dodgers. I don't even think that's a hot take, but I don't see it. I just don't see it at all.
He just doesn't have that long of a leash to prove that he is worth it. Everybody right now, is trying to prove that they should and can deliver. And I agree. He looks a little bit just not right. Like he just doesn't look comfortable, like within himself.
He's got like the super yips.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
he definitely was. he was battling the yips throughout spring training, and and understandable. Look, like it is tough because he missed the entirety of last season. He was going to get the starting shortstop job, which they kind of then gave to him as by default this season without really thinking about the fact that Gavin Lux actually hasn't really played shortstop in the majors. So not only did you have recovering from a broken leg, but you've got trying to really reacclimate yourself to playing every day at a position that you're not fully comfortable playing in because you're still trying to acclimate to playing that at a major league level. And then also the abbreviated spring training, I think, did a number on him as well, where the reason why they had to have the quick trigger of going to Mookie in spring training at short was because their season started like a week after. So they had to like really quickly make that change. And so Lux didn't really get the full sort of development time that he would have gotten if he had played on a team that didn't go to Korea. So which, I think it's great that the team went to Korea. I'm not trying to blame anything on that. I'm saying it was a very unfortunate situation specifically for Gavin Lux because he's somebody who really needed that full time in spring training and that long leash of like trying to get everything back together. And he just didn't get that. And so he tried to press way too much and then it just made him look awful.
I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know if time would have been the thing that he needed. His accident was such a freak accident. Like, remember just turning second base by himself and his leg just went? I feel like I would not know how comfortable, like I think he's in his head that he's afraid he's going to take one weird step and it's going to happen all over again. Like, how do you get past that? How? I don't know. I don't know if I could. That just was such a freak accident that I feel like he is very much in his head. I don't know if it's like you need to go see a psychologist, a sports psychologist, but I just think he's afraid to take a normal step in a high leverage moment.
Yeah. This is like these last 5 minutes or so have been like the only issues I have with this team so far, which is like hilarious to say 3 games in. But like, the bullpen and the bottom of the order needs to be more consistent. And guys like Gavin Lux and thank God Max Muncy yesterday for what he did. But like, the first couple games there, it was all Freddie, Mookie, and Shohei. And then you'd have 6 free outs outside of like Will Smith. But they'll get there. They'll get there.
Somebody that really not that I'm worried, but James Outman looked confused at the back. I'm just like, what are you? What? Tell me it's just the series. Tell me it's just the beginning. Like, he looked like he didn't know what he was swinging at.
No, I noticed that as well. Like Outman did not have a great series, and and it's I don't know if it's kind of maybe we'll see a bit sophomore slump sort of stuff with Outman where. Now he finally has a full season under his belt at the major league level, so it's kind of figuring out how do you ramp that back up again. But I think that overall, especially if Outman's not playing well, if Hayward's banged up, and with Lux not playing well, right now the bottom of the order is very platoon heavy, and typically I'm good with that, but I feel like the way that they've had to manage it is you literally empty the bench the second that a lefty comes in, and which is the right move strategically, but it's the sort of thing that's going to cost teams games, throughout the season, where you'll have a couple games where suddenly, they have to bat the pitcher, or they have a weird thing where like they bring in Austin Barnes to pinch it just because they have to, and then you have no backup catcher.
How dare you bring up that name?
The Dodgers also have 4 catchers on their 40-man, and they still have Austin Barnes on the roster. Maybe his back is tight as well. Like maybe
I would.
Old guy. Don't you have some?
I would like to get one more everyday outfielder so that they have at least a consistent outfield every day. Because Jason Hayward is not, and I don't mind having Jason Hayward as like the vibes guy. at all. That's fine. So, yeah, I mean, I keep going back to the Brewers, but man, they could swing a trade like with Willy Adames and Christian Yelich in it. Like, that'd be great.
Christian Yelich. Now you're really asking for everything.
He hasn't been the same since the Cody Bellinger MVP chase. He's been hurt and stuff, but just somebody that can man the outfield every day. That's all I'm asking for.
Monse, just wait until we're calling for Juan Soto in a month. Like this. This is how we.
Look, that's not out of the realm of possibility. I know the Yankees are 5-0 or whatever it is, but like they're due. They're due to fall off.
Can we just be happy they like swept the Astros and came back and beat them multiple games? Like,
yeah, that's funny. I do like seeing the Astros. I do like seeing a big 0-4 next to the Astros. However, they are currently smacking the Blue Jays. So afraid that won't last much longer.
Didn't the Rangers like win every game in Houston in the postseason? So like have the Astros won a home game in their last like 10, 15 home games? Like I feel like they got whipped around at home in the postseason.
Yeah,
and that's like,
they are about to. So we should relish in it now. But yeah,
good.
Those
okay, great.
Those
good
bastards. No joy.
All right, that's a good place to end. One last thought, just like as an observation I had about these games. I noticed people kind of bringing to attention that like the attendance for these games was kind of low.
Yeah,
it was
our good friend Bob Nightingale did that.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob.
I thought we were friends, Bob.
It's cold, okay? It was rainy this weekend. I got like 5 alerts on my phone about flash floods that were going to happen that never did. Like this is not it was also a holiday weekend. So, let's wait a few series until we make judgments about about what the sort of
the percentage of Catholics in the Dodgers fan base has to be higher than any other team in the country. So no way they're going to games on Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Get real.
All right. Well, this is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. We will be coming to you every week throughout the season. Be sure to follow the podcast now on your audio platforms. By the way, check out Apple Podcasts. Search the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Of course, subscribe on Twitter. You can like, you can comment, you can tell us that we're bad. It's fine.
We love our fans.
The algorithm counts all comments all the same.
Yeah.
You can lie. You could turn the video on, not listen at all, type a comment like these guys are the greatest people I've ever met. And hey, we'll love you all the same. Or just say that that I am in prison and say I don't want to listen to a podcast of a man who's in prison right now. There's probably a few out there. They're probably doing pretty well. So maybe we should just, go with that lie. Believe that. All right. So until next time, hopefully I'm out of prison for the next episode. So
you might be in prison again sometime this season. So we should just
not if I can help it. Not if I have anything to say about it.
So next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Will I be in prison? That will be answered. that we'll have that answer for you and many more. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Stay fly, everyone.
Stay fly.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.